because it sounds like bullshit. But literally, I got up, ran out of my house, my apartment at the time, jumped off the balcony, and watched it happen.
So Joe Rogan just had Michael Jai White on, and this conversation is absolutely wild. White's sharing stories that sound impossible, predicting earthquakes, teenage fatherhood while teaching martial arts, and why Hollywood's action scenes are complete garbage. Plus, incredible insights into Mike Tyson's psychology. Let's break this down.
You watched the house collapse?
I watched the earthquake happen from outside.
Oh.
It's like no bullshit. Everybody. So I thought, oh shit, I overreacted. I had a bad dream. I lived on the first floor of this apartment building. All I know is I wake up, I'm off balance, catching my balance in the parking lot, right? And like, oh shoot, I gotta find the guard to get me back in the apartment building, right? And I'm thinking, what's like I've lost my mind or something. The next thing you know, everything shakes and the lights go out. Just everything gets black. And so I'm backing, I retreat back because I'm thinking the building is going to fall on me. And I'm like, wait a minute. Then I got the story from everybody else that experienced it. They said that the first thing that happened was the building shook and the lights went out. Well, I was outside watching that.
The 1994 Northridge earthquake killed 57 people and caused $20 billion in damage. For someone to wake up and evacuate before it hit, that's not just lucky, that's supernatural level intuition. His survival instincts were clearly operating on a completely different level than most people.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up kind of that way.
Right.
Because you have
with nobody looking
survive
out
on
for
that.
you. Yeah. Nobody was looking out for you. You got to look out for yourself.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was like always the junior of the group a lot of times because, like I said, I've been on my own since I was 14. I haven't grown in since I was 13, 14. I looked like a grown-ass man.
This connects perfectly to his earthquake prediction. When you're abandoned at 14, your nervous system becomes hyper-tuned to danger. That hypervigilance that kept him alive on the streets is the same mechanism that got him out of that building before it shook.
And so the people that was running the community center said, why don't you teach a class? They thought I was an adult.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so I was teaching like kind of like just under the table. I was getting paid under the table, basically. But I had like close to 200 students early on, like when I'm 15, 16.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so, it was kind of a trip that, which is one of the reasons why I was a father at 15, because I had one of my students' older sister, was like, had a crush on her on his instructor.
Think about this. At 15, most kids are worried about algebra homework. He's running a martial arts program with 200 students, getting paid under the table, looking like a grown man. No wonder he became a father so young. He was living an adult life as a teenager.
Right.
And so, Kimbo, he would, like a lot of people, he would kind of telegraph. And so when we were shooting the movie, and we had a cameraman that did not really know how to shoot stuff, so I just had to do everything on screen. And so I just wanted to make everything very realistic. And so Kimbo had this rubber knife, and I was like, try your best to touch me with the rubber knife. And so he would try, but as soon as he would move, there'd be a little bit of an indication that I'd see, and then I throw the punch, and it would go really close to him, and I have him react to that. But he was going, wait a minute, how are you hitting me before I can get this knife out?
This is the difference between technical training and real fighting instincts. Kimbo was a legendary street fighter, but he telegraphed his moves, something you learn to read when you've actually been in life or death situations. Street smarts versus gym training, and the streets won.
Mm-hmm.
And people would just, put their time in and pay for their black belts.
Right.
And it just watered it down. And
right.
All these people running around saying that they're master this and, grand whatever, and all these made up things. And it's like, oh yeah, the guy's a master in an Asian martial art. That's a English word.
Right.
You know what I mean? How did master sneak its way into Yeah, but
Right.
anyway, male ego.
He's absolutely right about the McDojo epidemic. Traditional karate became a business model where you pay monthly fees and automatically advance. Jiu-jitsu stays legitimate because you can't fake choking someone out. The mat doesn't lie about your actual skill level.
There are gladiators. And so whenever I have a chance, man, I always like to put them in movies and try to expose them to another kind of way of getting paid.
Yeah.
Especially afterwards, because it breaks my heart that they're heroes and then they get discarded sometimes. But not by the union that they're with, but just by the fans. They're so fickle sometimes.
Yes.
This shows his character. Most Hollywood guys use fighters as props. He actually cares about their post-career welfare. These athletes sacrifice their bodies and brains for entertainment, then fans move on to the next guy. His loyalty to real warriors is genuine respect.
Right.
Believable.
Yeah, there's nothing believable about those movies.
Yeah, I like the actors that are like, have some quirkiness and some edge to them, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being unfair because I really hadn't seen a lot. Maybe I owe it to myself to give some.
No, I think you got it. It's simple entertainment. It's a silly release and escape. That's all it is. It's not there's no great films that are superhero films.
Right, yeah, because sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, she's 90 pounds and she just threw a guy. Okay,
Yeah.
let me
Like Charlie's Angels or
Yeah,
something.
I'm like, oh,
kicking
come
ass
on
and
now.
stilettos.
And it's like, anytime somebody lands in a 3-point stance and then looks up, I'm like, I just changed the channel.
Yeah.
I'm just like, stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
But people love those things.
He's calling out Hollywood's ridiculous physics. A 90-pound actress beating up 200-pound men in stilettos is insulting to anyone who understands real violence. That 3-point superhero landing is pure comic book nonsense. In reality, you'd shatter your knees.
Tom Cruise really proved something to me in that damn movie. Because I would never think I would ever be scared of Tom freaking Cruise.
Right.
And how convincing he was.
He's a bad motherfucker.
Yes.
He is he's crazy as batshit, but he's a bad motherfucker.
He brought it in that
You have
movie.
to be that crazy to do all the stunts that guy does. I mean,
Yeah.
he's 60 years old. He's jumping off buildings and shit and breaking
Yeah.
his ankle.
Yeah, just like
He's an animal.
Johnny Depp. I'm like, Johnny Depp when he did Black Mass. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you
Yeah.
had that in you?
Right.
Holy
right.
shit.
Yeah.
And just like with Tom Cruise, I'm like, him having that character in him?
There's a scene in Collateral that tactical instructors play.
Yes.
The scene
the
when
double
they're-
tap. Like
Yes.
He whips it back.
Yeah.
Double tap, double.
Collateral worked because Cruise actually trained with real hitmen consultants. The way he holds the gun, moves through crowds, that's authentic technique. Black Mass succeeded because Depp studied actual FBI footage of Whitey Bulger. Real research beats CGI every time.
Because, I had to play him, so I had to
right.
study everything he did. And it's interesting because, oh my God, I always viewed him as somebody who was always looking for a father figure.
Yes.
And I would study him, and, with Customato, he would dress like Customato. He's a young black guy from Brooklyn with suspenders.
Right.
In a cabbie hat,
Yeah.
And then when Customato was gone, he was around Kevin Rooney, and Kevin Rooney had this really fast way of talking, and it seemed like he adapted that. And when he was with
Swalwell.
shoot, why am I blanking? The other manager,
Jim Jacobs.
Jim Jacobs. Jim Jacobs was married. I think marriage became important to him at that point because he was really under the umbrella of Jim Jacobs. And then when he was with
Robin Givens.
Don King,
Oh yeah.
the N-word is every third word out of his mouth, very much like Don King. He goes to prison.
This psychological analysis is brilliant. Tyson was constantly searching for father figures after Cuss died. He'd mirror whoever was mentoring him, adopting their speech patterns, dress, even values. It explains his chaotic career decisions and vulnerability to manipulation.
He left that casino owing. Mike had to bail him out many times.
Jesus.
And so people thought, oh, Kevin Rooney is in control. No, Mike was, he had so much pressure on him. And I think with Don King trying to hire Mike's cohorts to help out. If he's going to hang out with him anyway, to try to just do that. He had so much. This dude had so much pressure on him. It's unbelievable.
Kevin Rooney gambling away over $1 million while Tyson had to bail him out repeatedly. That's devastating betrayal. When your own trainer is stealing from you, who can you trust? This explains Tyson's paranoia and why he surrounded himself with yes men.
I mean, look, of course, I studied all this stuff on Mike Tyson. Third round of that first fight got chills because, think about it. He heard something that he never heard his entire career. Everybody started chanting for the other guy.
Right.
Holyfield, Holyfield. And I swear to you, I saw just the air come out of this guy.
Yeah.
And it was like, I've done all of this, and they're chanting for this man. And how gracious he was, how Tyson was at the end, I felt like that's not a new thought. You kind of had that opinion of him going into this.
Well, Holyfield had been through the wars, right? Mm-hmm. He had those wars with Riddick Bowe. He had the first war with Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Remember that fight at cruiserweight? Oh my God! Go back and watch that fight. He had the war with Burt Cooper. Like he had war.
That moment broke Tyson's aura forever. For his entire career, crowds feared him. Now they're cheering against him. You can literally see his confidence deflate when he realizes the audience wants him to lose. Psychological warfare at its most brutal.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. That's the thing, because like, you know, you thought when we were going in this clip that he was bigger than Muhammad Ali.
I did.
But the thing is, like, people don't realize how big Muhammad Ali actually was, because George Foreman, you know, was a monster.
Look at these combinations.
And they were his legs are bigger than George Foreman's.
Right.
And we know where the power is, right?
Well, George Foreman, what did he weigh when they fought?
218, and I think Muhammad Ali was 214. They were like right. So the actual fight day, who was heavier?
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm just saying, it's interesting.
People remember Ali as this dancing, beautiful boxer and forget he was 6'3", 215 pounds of pure muscle. Moving like Sugar Ray Robinson but hitting like Sonny Liston, that combination of size, speed, and power has never been replicated in heavyweight history.
I mean, I did a movie last year in Louisville, Kentucky, and while I was there, I went and visited Muhammad Ali's gravesite. And dude, man, I didn't expect it. I was just like, let me see it. And dude, I couldn't talk for 2 hours afterwards. I just sat in my car and just got overwhelmed just to think what this man really meant.
Yeah.
It was just like it jacked me up. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I can't think of another fighter that meant more, like in terms of like a cultural icon. Can't think of another one.
And put his life on the line and just was so, you know.
And a cautionary tale to fighters too.
That emotional response at Ali's grave shows everything about his character. This is someone who truly understands what sacrifice means. Ali gave up his prime years, millions of dollars, and risked prison for his principles. Real recognizes real.
There's a rites of passage.
Yes.
You got to know how to protect yourself and your family and your loved ones. That to me is paramount.
You also have to know what's inside of you. Like, and
That's
the only way
exactly
to find out is to test it.
Exactly.
Because otherwise you get these dudes that have their chest pumped out and they're talking loud. Why are they doing that? Because they want to scare people off.
Right.
Because they don't know what they're capable of. They're terrified.
Yeah, and you can't hide from yourself.
Right.
And that's the thing. I'm not going to bullshit myself. I want to know, you know, and it's great. There's no substitute for going through that. And that's the thing why I love fighters so much. You know, you're basically naked to the world.
Right.
You have to dig down. You have to overcome things.
Yeah.
That's why I love them so much, because they're our gladiators.
He's describing what's missing in modern society, actual tests of character. We've created participation trophy culture where everyone gets rewarded without earning it. Fighters face real consequences, real pain, real failure. That's why they deserve our deepest respect.